Hello everybody, this is Blex here, bringing you a brand new guide for Starcraft 2. This will be a basic build guide. With the addition of the free-to-play feature for Starcraft 2 and the recent success I've had in the past season where I finished in Masters 3 in 3rd place, I figured I'd bring you my guide that I typically follow when I play Terran. I primarily play as Terran. This is kind of my fallback build. It's very reliable and effective against all matchups. So let's get started. So first, you want to make sure you build your SCV as soon as the match starts, and you want to route that SCV over to the entrance of your base. Now, the general idea of this build is we're going to be doing a Reaper fast expand, but it's a little different than other people's builds, so I'll show you the variation. After that first SCV finishes, you want to continue production and reroute your next SCV to the mineral line, and with that first SCV, you want to build a supply depot right away, as soon as you have 100 minerals. Now from here, we're going to be dropping a barracks off that supply depot, and with our next 75 after the barracks goes down, we're going to build a refinery while maintaining constant SCV production. So here, that original SCV is going to drop a barracks. It's also important to note to drop it 2 spaces away from your entrance so you can fit a reactor or tech lab. In this case, we'll build a reactor. Now as I mentioned, we're going to be building a refinery with the first 75 minerals we have available after dropping that barracks and continuing SCV production. Now with that barracks, you want to route your units to go to the enemy base, and you want to route your SCV to go to the natural, because we'll be building a command center as soon as we can. Now here you'll notice I route my 2 SCVs as soon as the refinery finishes while maintaining production in my command center. This is because we want to make sure we can get that Reaper out as soon as our barracks finishes. Now from here, it's a bit of a waiting game, continue SCV production, and waiting for the barracks to finish. Now notice when the barracks finishes, I queue up a Reaper right away, and my SCV goes down to the natural and drops a command center as soon as I have 400 spare minerals. Now my command center is already building an SCV. I continue building. I cancel the build and I convert over to an orbital. Getting an orbital is very important for getting mules. Now with your next 75 minerals, you're going to want to drop a second refinery, and with your next 100 minerals, you're going to want to drop a supply depot to wall off, and you're going to want to build a reactor on your barracks. Now your Reapers are already going to be routed over to the enemy base, and you want to hotkey them wherever you can, but you'll want to come back to your command center because you have a mule available and you need to continue SCV production. You want to make sure you route 2 SCVs over the refinery as soon as that finishes. And with your first 100 Vespian gas, you want to build a factory. Now from here, you want to come back over to your Reaper. I'm going against double Reaper. Not good for me. I'm going to get taken out pretty quickly. My instant reaction is to build 2 barracks. Now, in this particular instance, I have to deal with some very early aggression, but this build allows for some flexibility for me to come back in this game. I probably didn't need to build 2 barracks, or a little overreaction, but it does kind of distract one Reaper so the other one can finish. Now remember, I went command center first. In most matches, this would be an instant loss, but in this particular scenario, I'm able to fend this off by constant marine production, having a barracks, and having the second base allows me to catch up afterwards. So he realizes my marines start coming out. I'm continuing marine production. Now I want to build a cyclone as soon as I can without dropping a tech lab, and this is only if you know that you have aggression coming to your base with Reapers, because cyclones are extremely effective against those Reapers. Now over here on the natural, I built an orbital. I'm not going to build SCVs out of here because I know the Reapers will just simply take them down, so I can accumulate some energy while I'm waiting. Now I want to continue marine production and make sure I'm trying to create a wall off so I can defend against these Reapers. It's okay to let your natural take some damage. You can easily lift it up as you see here and bring it back over. After my cyclone finishes, I want to start production of a tech lab and get out siege tanks. That's the ultimate defense. Now see here, I was able to anticipate where he was going to jump up on the wall and able to push out and take care of a batch of those Reapers. Now if you go to the loss column, I'm already ahead 50 supply, and I already have a second base finished and accumulating energy. Now he pushes back in, but I have these 2 barracks or bunkers here that I'm able to fend off the opponent with. I'm able to maintain a strong first, continue SCV production. Now from here, you want to drop you're going to want to drop, in a normal game, I should say, a starport. In most games, you'll see that. In this particular scenario, since he went aggressive and kind of all in a bit, I think it'd be best to push out with multiple racks. I do end up winning this game. Probably not the right scenario. It's probably best to go safe and build your starports. So let's pause here for a bit. Now, let's rewind back to when the aggression started. So I knew the aggression was starting because of that Reaper getting picked off. And really what you want to be doing here, let's pretend the aggression wasn't going to happen. You want to build a starport right after this factory finishes. You want to drop a tech lab and a starport right then and there. You'll complete your 1-1-1. So you'll have constant SCV production from your 2 bases, constant marine production from your barracks, and constant tank production from your factory. And then eventually you'll get a starport, which you can then push out and then you can build a reactor after that and push out with probably 2 to 3 tanks, 2 medevacs, and probably 5 to 10 marines. And that'll be an initial push to kind of poke and prod the enemy. But this match was a little different with the early aggression. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section.